Hello and welcome to another live demonstration. As part of the Back to Basics series, I like to introduce new products or new techniques or old techniques. I just like to bring you something that you can have a look at yourself. So this year, St. Petersburg White Knights have brought out 7 new colours, and I want to show you these. The colour charts are always helpful for any paints, and you can see here they've introduced the new colours to their colour chart. So you can now see where these fit in their range, because you think new colours, surely they've got enough. But actually when you see where they drop into, you think, oh yeah, that was the colour that was missing there. So starting with Indian yellow, Indian gold, Venetian red, and you can see here that the Indian yellow has 1 pigment, and I did notice a number of the new colours have a single pigment. So what does a single pigment mean? You often look for colours with a single pigment because when they mix with another colour, they keep their clean crispness. If you've got multiple pigments and you mix with another colour, they tend to muddy. So a single pigment is something that artists do look for in a paint, and that's new colours. A number of them have a single pigment. All of them have high light fast ratings. So the colour chart's telling me quite a lot. One, I want to understand the colours. I want to know the colours. So what I've done is done my own colour charts and my own colour mixing. So simple swatches, trying to create from dark to light, just to see how they feel. I can now see whether they granulate. I can see their true colour once they're dry. I will put their pigments next to them, and I'll put all the information you get from colour charts all onto this little reference for me. It's a reference. Black line shows whether they're opaque or transparent. Yes, the colour chart may tell me, but what does that really mean? How transparent is it? How opaque is it? So I'm learning what that transparent actually means for that colour. Trying to lift out here. To me, most of these colours are actually a little bit more difficult to lift because I really scrub into them. But again, I understand that colour a little bit more. I understand if I've put this colour on as a blue sky and I want to lift out clouds, you know, it may be not as easy as a lift colour, or I need to prepare, like using a lifting medium or something like that. But I'm learning. So something as simple as this, you're just understanding those colours a little bit more. So along here, a neat colour, and what you do, I'm sure you can simplify this, but this is the way I work because I haven't yet worked out to take away same mixing colours. I could just leave that blank, but for me it's not aesthetically pleasing. So same colour, so that plus that makes that. And this is where you can actually have some really interesting colour mixes. So some lovely, this purple mixed with the Indian gold makes a lovely kind of shadow colour, but it granulates. It actually starts to granulate with each other. And some of these lovely warm purples you can get. And then other colours, you get the lovely greys. By mixing a colour you may not think of initially, like you've got the quinacridone violet mixed with the sap green, and look at that lovely grey it makes. So this is where I learn, and I can keep it for reference so I can understand potential. I mean, you won't be just using all these 7 colours in one go. You will be mixing them with your existing sets. But for me, it just kind of goes, oh yeah, I love that colour it makes. And I think even as an accomplished painter, doing this kind of thing just kind of can surprise you sometimes. So I think these charts for me really help me kind of go, wasn't expecting that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to do some swatches, just do some colours and let them mix, and we'll just have a play. Before I do that, they've also brought out some new sets in the St. Petersburg range. This is the plein air set, and what you get in this nice little, very light, to be honest, plastic set are colours which they feel will work in the plein air environment. So landscapes. I love that they give you a little colour swatch chart, because you can put your colours on, and that's actually quite useful. One thing about the St. Petersburg paints is that once you've taken their covers off, there's nothing on the pan to tell you what colour it is. So I will write the number just for reference. I know what colour that was if I want to purchase it again. So that's one thing to bear in mind. And they do put, like I say, this is a really useful thing to have. So you can put the colours on and then write the numbers or write the colour on. Remind you next time what colour you want to refill your set. St. Petersburg, these are full pans. They look a little different to other pans, and you can see why I'm doing that, because they're a bit sticky. Now, they're filled differently. Some are baked, and so they're quite hard. These are filled into the pan, and they're to overspill the edges. They're sticky. That's due to their binder and the way they're made, but they're called a moist pan. And I actually really like this, and I'll show you once we do swatches the meaning of the moist pan and how it really gives you your colour instantly instead of having to scrub colour and get it onto your brush. So the other two sets that have been introduced are, that's a big landscape set and a fantasy set. And I'm turning them over because what's useful on these is they've put the information on the back. And I noticed in that colour chart what they didn't have on were their transparency and opaqueness, which they have on these. So these are even better than a colour chart, so it may be worth, if you don't keep the box, at least keeping that information. So it shows you the colours, and what in the landscape set they've introduced the new quinacridone violet, and in this one the new sap green. So they've started to integrate their new colours into some new sets which they brought out. So let's talk about the paints and what I like about them. And as a pan set, to be honest, it is one of my first choices because I think their colours are really quick to achieve and they're bright and strong. So they're highly pigmented. So the first one is, I would say, let me have a look at my chart, it'd be Indian yellow, I think. Reference. Yeah, Indian yellow. So a loaded and natural hairbrush, which I find is the best when I am doing swatches, just with the tip. And you can see there, I actually didn't have to scrub into that colour in order to get strong colour straight away. So the moist pans release their colour really quickly. I just need a few swipes of colour and you can see straight away it's picking onto the. So that one's the Indian gold. Venetian red. Okay. So you can see straight away how quickly the bright, strong colours pick up. The next one, blue. It's just called blue. They've not called it any particular blue. And this is a single pigment. So there we go. Look at that. That is a lovely, strong colour. Next colour we'll see is ultramarine violet. So this is a nice bluey violet. What I did notice on this is obviously quite a transparent colour because it takes a little bit more to pick up on your brush. But you can see there, not much scrubbing. Like I say, for me, I love the moist pan. I just really feel it is such a lovely experience to work with. This is one of my favourite colours. This is a quinacridone violet, and I know this is going to be really quite strong. Look at that. It's just a lovely colour. Load my brush up with water again. Down for the last colour, a sap green. Now I know some purists love mixed colours, and I'm all for mixing. I think it is really important, and you will see I've mixed these colours together. But I have no problem using this wonderful green and using them as part of your painting. It doesn't stop you colour mixing. but it does push you forward in learning colours. So those two I think are probably my favourite colours, the purple and the green, and they're actually colours that you usually mix, but I think these colours you'll struggle to find the right red and the right blue to mix that colour straight away, so why not use them in one go. So what I'm going to do is actually use those two colours, so the violet, and I'll put some green on the other side, and let's see what colour it mixes together. I think it's probably going to make a grey. But oh, it's making a really warm green here. I think if I mix them a little stronger, it would make much more of a grey. So before you actually start a painting with them, learn about them. Just have a bit of a play and a little, see what happens with them. So actually, that's a lovely colour it's made in the middle. And if I use a bit more stronger purple, I think it would grey it down a little bit more. And I wouldn't guess that, to be honest, without painting and trying it. So this was just a quick introduction to the St. Petersburg White Nights. They're a highly pigmented pan, and like I said, they're called moist pans because they will remain sticky. They're filled directly into the pan, not baked, and for instant colour, I don't think you can get very much better. So new colours for this year, have a play, try, introduce yourself to one or two, and I hope you discover how wonderful these paints are. So that's all for me. So join me next week for some more live demonstrations.